Good morning, dear students. Welcome to your second English class. My name is Teacher George, or as you prefer, you can also call me Teacher Jorge. It's a great pleasure to be with you today in our second day of our second class. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to take assistance to start our class, okay? Rosalia Mendez. Rosalia? Oh, there you are. Good morning. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Excellent. Guadalupe Bravo. Guadalupe. Good morning, Guadalupe. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you? Great. Excellent. So Guadalupe is here. Gina Jimenez. Gina. Good morning. I'm fine. Thanks. How about you? I'm glad to hear. Good to have you back. Jonathan Zumba. Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? Great. Diego Guaman. Diego. Good morning, Diego. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? Excellent. Azucena Peñafiel. Azucena. Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you. Okay, so today we have 6 students again. And let's start our class, okay? So the topic for today's class, okay, is health, okay? Health, that's today's topic. So we're going to start. Can somebody help me with today's date, please? Okay, so today is Tuesday, July 21st, 2021, right? Tuesday, July 21st, 2021, okay? All right, so today, like I said, we're going to talk about health, okay? Which is a very interesting and fascinating topic. As you can see, the situation nowadays when it comes to health, we became aware that health is one of the most important things in our life, right? Because of the situation with the pandemic and the viruses, now we really got to value our health. So it's such an important topic, okay? And we're going to learn, but I'm going to present you, we're going to learn a lot of things about health. But first of all, I'm going to present you the main objectives for today's class, okay? So the objectives for today's class, you guys are going to be able to, as far as speaking goes, you're going to learn to talk about lifestyles, okay? Lifestyles related to health, okay? Related to good habits and bad habits, good healthy habits and bad healthy habits. As far as grammar goes, you are going to learn about modals, using the modal should and must, okay? For different types of situations and how to use them properly. And we're also going to be doing some writing exercises, learning how to construct sentences using should and must. I'm very much excited. I hope all of you are. So let's get to it, okay? All right. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to send you a link, okay, on the platform Padlet. I want everybody to open it up, please. Yeah, it's on Padlet. I already sent it to you guys. Just open the link. Okay, is everybody in the link now? Guadalupe? Okay. Diego, Azucena. Okay, you guys are signing in. Rosalia. Okay, so it looks like everybody's here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we are going to what do we see here? We says healthy and unhealthy habits. Okay, so here we have a list of habits. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to classify them. Okay, I want you to classify them in 2 sections: good habits and bad habits. Okay, so let's get started. All right. Okay. So let's go with let's start with bad habits first. Okay, bad habits. Okay, let's go with bad habits. Let me see. Rosalia. Okay. Okay, so help me classifying the bad habits that you think they are in this list. Eating fatty foods, perfect. So we have eating fatty foods, right? Okay. Any other thing on the list that you may suggest, Rosalia? Being sedentary. Being sedentary. Being sedentary. Okay. Being sedentary. Okay. All right. Let's go with Guadalupe. Continue, please. Let's continue through the list to classify the bad habits. Okay. Feeling stressed. Thank you. Feeling stressed. Okay, and the last one, smoking. Smoking. Okay, so as you can see, these are the list of the bad habits. Okay, these are bad habits because they're not good for your health. Eating fatty foods is too much grease, too much poison for your body. Being sedentary, not doing exercise, it's bad for your body. Feeling stress, it alters your hormonal system, your nerves. You become, it puts your body into shock. And smoking, as you already know, it's also a bad habit because it affects your respiratory system, especially nowadays that you so need it, right? Okay, so those are the list of bad habits, okay? Now let's go with the good habits. Okay, we're gonna go with good habits, okay? Okay, so good habits. Continue, Gina Jimenez. Classify me, point me out, please, one good habit in this list. Sleeping well, perfect, thank you. Sleeping well. Okay, let's continue. Jonathan Zumba, next good habit or healthy habit. Doing exercise. Doing exercise, perfect. Let's continue. Diego Guaman. Drinking water, perfect. Drinking water, okay? Okay. So as you can see here, we have the list of good habits. Sleeping well, because when you sleep well, your body gets to recover, you feel good, you feel energized. Doing exercise because it's healthy, you reduce tension, and drinking water is also healthy because it keeps your organs working properly and stuff, right? However, there's one habit that we skipped, okay? And I'm gonna leave it to Azucena Peñafiel to tell me if it's a good habit or bad habit. What is it? Getting drunk, exactly. And what is it, good or bad? It's bad, right? Exactly, it's bad for your system. So it's getting drunk. Getting drunk, okay? All right, as you can see, we classified, what we did, we classified a section of good and bad habits, right, into sections. So you guys get to see, you guys learn about good and bad habits and how these habits affect your health, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna continue with the next activity, okay? I'm gonna present you a chart of the use of the modals. Should and must in English. Help me reading the title, the first section on the left-hand side, Rosalia. We use should to suggest something, okay? It is advisable to, the modal should express opinion to one person's point of view, okay? So here the important thing that is pointing out is that we use should, okay, for something that is advisable, right? It's advisable, it's not mandatory. It's just you want to give your opinion. You're just expressing your opinion. You are not expecting the other person to fulfill the request. Okay, it's just a suggestion, a recommendation. that you are recommending the person. For example, you should apply for that job. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to. So you should. You're just giving advice to the person. You should apply for that job. You have a sore throat. You shouldn't drink cold water. Now, here is an important thing. Here, should is the positive form, is the affirmative form of should. Okay. However, it also has a negative form. Okay, which is shouldn't. Okay. Should is positive. Shouldn't is negative. You have sore throat, you shouldn't drink cold water, because if you drink cold water and you have a sore throat, it's just going to make it worse. Okay. People should eat enough fruits in order to be healthy, right? It's a recommendation. You don't have to. You may follow the advice or not. It's up to you. There should be a way to do something, right? There should be a way. It's a suggestion, it's a recommendation. Michael should keep out of the sun for 2 days. Okay, Michael should keep out. Why? Because maybe he has an allergy, maybe it's not good for him, maybe it's too much radiation, you name it. Okay, so that's why he has to keep out of the sun. Okay, all right. Okay, so now, so this is the modal should. Okay, we have should for positive and we have shouldn't for negative. Now we're gonna go with must. Help me reading the definition for must, Guadalupe Bravo. We use must to express a stronger point of view. A stronger point of view. We need to, we have to, the modal must also expresses opinion on one person's point of view. Okay, so here, this is something very important that I want you to pay attention to. When we use must, is to express a stronger opinion, a stronger point of view. It's like something mandatory. Usually, must is used for legal requirements. Okay, something that is legal, mandatory. You must follow. You have no choice. You have to do it. It has to be done. Okay, so that's what must also expresses necessity. Okay, so for example, we must fasten our seat belts. Okay, we must fasten our seat belts. What does fasten means? Fasten means to like engage, like, you know, when you want to engage your seat belt into your when you are in your car, it says fasten, like, you know, just like engage your seat belt, right? Put on your seat belt, basically. Okay, you must fasten our seat belts when you're in a car, when you're in a plane, right? Why? Because it's dangerous. If you're, you know, in a car or in a plane without seatbelt, it's really, you would be risking your life. You must stop playing computer games. Why? Because it affects your brain. It doesn't let you think, right? It's not good for you, especially for kids. You shouldn't let kids be playing too much computer games. You can play a little bit, but not too much. You must learn to drive. It will be useful. Yes, of course. If you don't drive, life can be very, very much difficult, right? So that's why you must learn to drive. Why? Because it's very useful. It's very helpful. Banks must examine all documents. Of course. Why? Because, you know, somebody could be trying to cause a fraud. Somebody can try to, you know, steal money or do something illegal. So that's why they have to examine. They must examine all documents carefully. And they have to take the time to examine each one of them. Now, the same way how should has a positive form, must also has a negative form, which is must not or mustn't, which is the shorter form, okay? She must not disturb me. Why? Because I'm studying. Why? Because I'm doing this, because I'm doing that. I need peace, or I need my privacy. She must not disturb me. You are letting the person know that it's mandatory. The person should not disturb him. You are making a special request. Okay, must not. The students must study English at least 11 hours a week. Students must study English at least 11 hours a week. Why do you think we should recommend students to study English at least 11 hours a week? Maybe Diego? Yes. Why do you think? Yeah, because that's the only way to learn, right? That's the only way how you're going to be able to learn English. That's why you must study English every single day, or at least every hour, every 11 hours a day, a week. So, so that you can, be good at it, okay? Now, there's something that I really want to point out, okay? Which is when we use must, okay? When we use must not, when we use the shorter form of must not, mustn't, okay? Please be careful of not avoiding to write the T, because, you have to write must, right? M-U-S-T and apostrophe T, okay? And when you said mustn't, like the T becomes silent. So you have to be very careful not to forget about writing it, okay? Because when you speak it, when you pronounce it, the T is silent, and because you pronounce it like that, you may forget to write it, okay? When you're writing, when you're using the shorter form, okay? Okay, all right. So now I'm gonna give you a link to a Google document so we can get some more exercises about the use of should and must, okay? All right, so I'm gonna give you a link so you can access the examples that I have prepared for you. And I'm gonna explain you as well the short form of mustn't, okay? All right, is everybody on this page? Jonathan, we're waiting for you. Okay, there you are. All right. Okay, perfect. So let's start. You must obey the traffic laws at all times, right? Why? Because it's mandatory. If you don't follow the traffic laws at all times, what's going to happen? You're going to get a ticket. You're going to get a fine. You may even end up in jail. That's why you must obey the traffic laws at all times. So can you see the difference between saying you should and you must? Should is a recommendation, must is mandatory, right? It's very easy to understand, and you don't have to get confused with this subject, okay? All right. Let's go with the second one. You mustn't. Can you see what I was talking about? Mustn't, M-U-S-T, right? And apostrophe T. And when you say mustn't, this T becomes silent. And because you, when you're writing, you may forget. So please be careful to write it, because it may become silent when you pronounce it, but it has to be written, okay? Don't forget to write it. You mustn't drive after taking drugs or alcohol. Why? Because it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. It's not, you putting your life at risk. You must bring your school materials. Why? Because you need to learn. How are you going to work without materials, right? You should wait for the sales to buy expensive things. Why? You should, like here, can you see, this is something very important that I want you to pay attention to. And here it doesn't say you must wait for the sales. No, right? Because it's not mandatory. It's up to you. It's up to, like, whenever you have the money or you have the time to go. That's why you say you should wait for the sales to buy expensive things. You should wait. It's a recommendation. It's a suggestion. It doesn't have to be done. That's why it's just a recommendation. You should wait for the sales to buy expensive things. Why? Because it becomes cheaper when you buy them in the sales. Okay, and now with the negative form of shouldn't, you shouldn't work for long hours without a break. Why? Because it's also not good for your health. You can, have like a heart failure, or stress too much, or you may even collapse, okay, or pass out even. That's why you shouldn't work for long hours without the break. Always take a break. You should think of ways to save energy. Why? Because it's good for your health. It's a healthy habit, right? You should think of ways to save energy, right? It's a healthy way. It's a recommendation, right? You should. So can everybody see the difference between using should and must? Yes. Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Jonathan Zumba, what's the difference between should and must? Exactly. Should for recommendations and must, it's mandatory. So which one has more weight between the two? Must, right? Must, it's heavier, it's a stronger approach. Perfect. Okay, Does anybody have a question? Everything is clear up to this point? Okay, perfect. All right. So let's continue. Okay, now it says should versus must in English. Difference between should and must and should in English. We use should to suggest something. It's advisable to, the modal should express his opinion to one person's point of view. You should apply for that job. You have a sutra. We already saw these examples, right? And with must, you must fasten your seatbelts. You must stop playing computer games. You must learn to drive. It will be useful. You must examine all documents. You must not disturb me. The student must study English 11 hours a week. You mustn't smoke. Can you see the negative form of mustn't? Again, you mustn't smoke. Why? Because it's not good for your health. Or you can also say in questions, must you always be at first? Right? Must you always be at first? So here we can also use it in questions. We must finish this novel till tomorrow morning. Why? Because there's a deadline, right? And that's why you have to finish the uses of must. You have to finish the novel because it has a deadline, right? So as you can see, it's very easy to understand very clearly the uses of should and must, right? Okay, now I want you to get some practice. Now we're gonna write some exercises about should and must, okay? So I'm gonna give you another link for another Google document, okay? Let me just send it to you. Okay, does everybody have the link? Okay. Okay, now open the document, please. Gina Jimenez, we're waiting for you. Open your document, please. Yes. Okay, Gina is going to open the document. All right, perfect. Okay, so here we're gonna do we're gonna write 3 sentences using should, and we're going to write 3 sentences using must, okay? Okay, all right, so let's start. Okay, you have 2 minutes to do this activity. Yes, 3 sentences using should. You can use should or shouldn't, and you can use must or mustn't. You have 2 minutes, okay? All right. I'm gonna guide you through this process in order to start writing your sentences. Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, it says you should. Okay, so what's my recommendation here? Can you help me reading it, Diego Guaman? You should see the new James Bond movie. It's great, right? You should see, right? So here, as you can see, I'm highlighting the importance of the modal should. You should see the new James Bond movie. It's great, right? So here I'm using the modal, right? All right, let's go with another sentence, okay? We should. Okay, people should worry more about global warming. Why? Because it's something that is killing us, something that is really affecting our planet, right? We are getting hotter temperatures, so people should pay more attention to this, right? People should worry more about global warming. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go with the next example. Let's see. Azucena Peñafiel. Yes, give me a sentence using should, please. Okay, I should what? Hurry to school. To school. It's 7:55. Okay, perfect. That's a great example. Thank you, Azucena. I should hurry to school. It's 7:55, right? Yes. Here is not mandatory that you have to hurry, right? Because you know, sometimes you can be late depending on the type of school you are or the type of course you have. But the suggestion is I should hurry to school. It's 7:55, right? So it's a great suggestion. It's a great suggestion, Azucena. All right. Let's go with, I want some sentences. This time I want some sentences with must, please. Okay. Let's go with Guadalupe Bravo, please. A sentence with must. Yes. We, what? We must have a special, what? Permit, perfect, to camp in National Park. That's a great example. We must have a special permit to camp in the national park. Perfect. Okay, so here I'm going to highlight the must with a different color so you can see the difference. Okay, so as you can see, I highlighted the should with yellow, which means it's advice, and I highlighted the must with red, which means mandatory. Okay. All right. So as you can see, that's the uses of should and must. Okay, let's go with one more sentence that you guys wrote, because you guys were supposed to write. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to move this one. Okay, I'm going to move this one here because that's where it's supposed to be. Okay, because these ones are just with should, and in this section is the ones with must. Okay, so let's go with another sentence with must. Gina Jimenez, please. Okay, the grounds. 1 second, please. Okay. The ground was wet. Okay, the ground was wet this morning. Okay, the ground was wet this morning. It must have rained last night. Perfect. That's an excellent example, Gina Jimenez. That's an excellent example. Okay, so I'm going to highlight it again so we can see. 1 second. Here. Okay, so I'm going to highlight it again. Okay, all right. So can you see the difference between writing should and must, right? We must have a special permit to camp in the national park. That is expressing necessity, right? That means you have to have the permit or else you're not going to be able to camp in the park. And the ground was wet this morning. It must have rained last night. Here is also expressing necessity. The reason why the ground was wet is because it had to rain last night. Like it rained. It must have rained last night, right? So that's an excellent example, Gina Jimenez. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we are going to, I'm going to go with the next activity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in, groups. Okay. 1 second. Let me just form the groups. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make 3 groups. Okay. Actually, 2 groups. I'm going to make 3 groups. Rosalia, Guadalupe, and Gina is group number 1. Okay. And Jonathan, Diego, and Azucena is group number 2, okay? So this is what you guys gonna do. I want you to share the sentences that you wrote with your partners in the group. And I want you to share your ideas, and we're gonna start a discussion, okay? You want to discuss the discussion, and then if it's the case that they made a mistake writing if they made a mistake writing the examples of the models, I want you to correct them, okay? I want you to tell them if the model was correct or not. Okay, let's get to it. We have 5 minutes to do this activity, okay? So I repeat the groups: Rosalia, Guadalupe, and Gina, group number 1; Jonathan, Diego, and Azucena Peñafiel, group number 2, okay? I want you to share your sentences that you wrote with your classmates, and I'm gonna be checking on you guys, making sure that you are doing the activity properly, okay? All right, so, okay, please join your groups, okay? All right, perfect. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's go with group. I'm gonna go with group number 1. Rosalia, Guadalupe, and Gina, please start your discussion, okay? Okay, so, all right, so Rosalia, write your first sentences that, share us your first sentence that you wrote, please. Okay, my friend smokes a lot. Okay, my friend smokes a lot, okay. My friend smokes a lot, okay. He, what? Shouldn't. He shouldn't smoke at all. It's bad for his health. Perfect. That's a great example. My friend, okay, so this is what Rosalia wrote. My friend smokes a lot. He shouldn't smoke at all. Can you see the difference? This time I'm going to highlight it because we're in a different activity. I'm going to highlight it with yellow, okay? Okay, my friend smokes a lot. He shouldn't smoke at all. It's bad for his health. Okay, groups. Now, let's start a discussion about this sentence. Is it correct? Yeah, it is correct. Exactly. He said, like, she cannot say he mustn't smoke at all, right? Because it's not legal that he has to stop smoking, right? It's just a suggestion. It's just a recommendation. Why? Because she's worried for his health. Perfect. Good job, Guadalupe. Exactly, because she's worried for his health. That's why she's making the suggestion. It's just a recommendation. It's just a suggestion that she's making, right? My friend smokes a lot. He shouldn't smoke at all. It's bad for his health. All right, perfect. Good job. Let's go with the second sentence. Gina Jimenez, please. Share us the sentence that you wrote. Okay, he spends his time watching TV. Okay. He should get some exercise. Perfect. He should get some exercise. Okay. All right. He spends his time watching TV. He should get some exercise. Perfect. That's a great example. Okay, now start your discussion, please. Okay, what is it? So it is a good example, right? Why? Exactly, it's not mandatory. It's just a suggestion. It's a recommendation. And here we also see that she's worried for his friend, right? Because she said that he's spending too much time watching TV and he should get some exercise, right? Okay, perfect. All right. Already. That's a great example. All right. Okay, now I'm going to go with the group number 2. Group number 2, Jonathan, Diego, and Azucena. Please share me your sentences with must. Okay. It's 5 in the morning. It's 5 in the morning and you still haven't gone to bed. Okay. You should be tired for sure. Okay, that's the sentence that Jonathan wrote. Okay, he says it's 5 in the morning. I should have and you still haven't gone to bed. You should be tired for sure. Okay, so here, guys, what's I want you to start a discussion about this. Okay, is it right or is it wrong? Exactly, it's wrong. Why? Because it's a necessity, right? Here saying you should be tired for sure. Like this is the outcome already. He's the outcome. He's been working since 5 in the morning and he hasn't sleep. So he must, perfect. He must be tired for sure. Because you're making an affirmation, right? You are not suggesting anything. You are affirming that he is tired, right? You're not making an affirmation. You're not making a suggestion or a recommendation. You're making an affirmation that the person is actually tired. You must be very tired for sure, right? Perfect. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go with the next one. Let's go with Diego Guaman. The president, okay, insists demands. The president demands that the prime minister should attend the meeting, right? Okay, so Diego Guaman wrote the second sentence, the following sentence. The president demands that the prime minister should attend the meeting. Is it right or wrong? No, it's not right. It's wrong. Excellent. Why? Exactly, because he's demanding. He's the president. He's not saying I recommend or I like, you know, I would like. No, he says I demand. He's making, like, when the president says something, that is a rule itself, and he's saying I demand that the prime minister must attend the meeting. Minister must attend the meeting, right? I demand the president, the prime minister must attend the meeting. Okay, perfect. Okay, and let's go with one last example for should. You guys haven't do some practice with should. Azucena, tell me your sentence, please. Yes. Yes, a sentence with should, whatever you wrote. Okay. My sister is on her way. She should what? Be here soon. Okay, so Azucena wrote the following sentence. My sister is on her way. She should be here soon. Is it right or wrong? It's right. Thank you. Why? Because she's not affirming anything, right? She's just suggesting that her sister, like she's trying to guess that her sister will be there soon, right? And it's not, there's nothing scheduled, but says my sister is on her way. She should be here soon, right? Okay, already. So how you guys like the exercise? I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Okay. All right. Okay, so do we have any questions about this activity? No, right? Okay, we're gonna do to a final exercise, okay? All right, and I'm gonna send you a link of quizalize.com, okay, in which we're gonna do a practice quiz regarding health, okay? Okay, did everybody got the link? Did everybody get the link? Okay, so here we have a quiz. You have to answer 5 questions. Which of the following foods are rich in minerals? Which of the following makes your bones stronger? Okay. All right, so let's start with the quiz. Yes, I'm gonna watch you while you do the quiz. Okay, so he says, which of the following are rich vitamin? Okay, so what is it? Rosalia? Perfect. Okay, let's go with the second question. Guadalupe Bravo. Which of the following makes your bones stronger? Protein, fat, calcium, vitamin C. Calcium, correct. Okay, you're ready. So please continue doing the quiz. Okay. All right. So because we're running out of time, I'm gonna send you the homework. Okay, so I'm gonna, as a homework, what I want you to do is I want you to record an oral presentation talking about good and bad habits. Okay. For this, we're going to use a platform called Flipgrid, where you're going to be able to record a very short clip where you're going to be talking about good and bad habits. Okay, that's going to be your homework, so you can practice what we learned today. And I want you to use the vocabulary with the models, the should and must. Okay, and what practice that we did today. Okay, so as a final review, what we learned today, we classified good and bad habits, what's good for health, what's bad for health. We learned how to use the model should and must, right? We did some exercises as a group and in pairs, right? We did as a, actually, yeah, we did some exercises as a group and in groups of 3. And we also completed a quiz about health, okay? And as a homework, like I said, you have to record, you have to make an oral presentation talking about good and bad habits, okay? In the platform Flipgrid, okay? That'll be all for today. It's been a great pleasure to be with you. I hope that everybody likes today's class, and I look forward to see you in our next class, okay? All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you. Bye for now. Bye. Bye-bye.